Good day, everyone. This is Pilot Niels, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody, how's it going?
Hello, Drac. How are things going over in Barovia?
SSDD, Pine Leaf.
SSD. Okay, yes, never mind.
I wondered if you were going to figure it out. I thought I would make it Pine Leaf friendly for you there.
Yes. All right. Very well. Okay. Well, anyway, Piney Flurry would just say same stuff, different day.
Oh, well, that's true. Okay, sure.
Yes. Then let's head into the game news, which there isn't much on that matter. They are starting to get ready for the next update and all that fun stuff. But the only real news is that Hardcore Season 3 is starting a little bit earlier than we were expecting because it is starting next week, 1 week from when we're recording this. It'll be starting next Wednesday on the 23rd.
Hashtag too soon.
Hashtag too soon.
Standing Stone Games, I love you, all of you guys. I respect you guys. I love your game. You're going to the well just a little bit too much. That well's going to run dry one of these days that you keep going to.
Well, I have a feeling that the reason they wanted to do it now was actually in some ways relates to an assumption that you made last time, and that was that because of the length that season 3 would have to be, that the expansion would have to be pretty late in the year. I think that the entire reason for this is so that they'll be able to get it in before the expansion, because the expansion is going to be late summer, early fall. And he did say that they're expecting it to be late summer.
Yeah, so hey, maybe I was right about one thing. Imagine that. The other big thing with the Hardcore Season 3 is it's going to change it up a little bit. We did talk about this last week a little bit, but you are going to have up to 3 lives. You're going to have to earn them. It sounds like you're going to get them progressively by leveling. No concrete information is available. That's just all we know. And this time it's going to be open up to everybody. Free-to-play players, premium players, and VIP. Of course, we know in the 2 seasons past, it was VIP only. This time, everybody can partake in Hardcore if you would like. RIP Hardcore server.
Yeah. Now, please note this, that on the way things are going to go, we have even though they're going to allow everyone in there, they're also going to have the normal rules. In other words, VIPs have certain advantages when they start a new character. They have things like I don't know if the VIP bonuses are going to be in effect or not, but you are going to have that VIPs can enter into the higher difficulties without having to run other dungeons first and stuff like that.
Right, yeah, VIPs can automatically open on Elite if they want.
Right, so those who are capable of playing on Elite, meaning not Pine Leaf, will be able to do so.
Right. And, this is going to take advantage of the, coincidentally, through August 31st. Remember, all content is free. So that'll be nice for, I guess, the free-to-play players and the premium players to go on Hardcore because they can do everything because it's all free.
That might be the other reason why they wanted to get it in now.
I'm kind of thinking, bulk of it. Yeah. I'm kind of thinking it's kind of, I think, a one-two punch between the free content and trying to get it in because they're shooting for, like you said, late summer for the expansion. So we'll see. But
yeah, and by late summer, I'm thinking they mean September sometime.
Yeah, I would probably say that's a good guess.
So it could slip into October because you know what happens sometimes when they shoot for a date and things don't always go as planned. But whatever it is, current plans are to have this expansion out probably, they say late summer, so I'm going to say obviously after August because they're not going to release it in August in any way. So I'm assuming they're trying to shoot for September, but anything like this could slip into October, whatever. With the Hardcore Season 3 opening up next Wednesday, they haven't announced the closing date yet, but No, it might be August 31st, as far as I know.
Well,
It's
and
probably fitting.
it was kind of funny how this whole thing was even announced anyway. It was announced on Cordovan's weekly Wednesday live stream show.
He was wondering, should I announce this now or not?
And I looked on the forums before we started recording, and there's no official post. There is a post that somebody, of course, was watching the show and said, "Hey, this was just announced," and Jerry did respond to that, and he answered a couple questions. But there's
Right.
no quote unquote official post announcing this. But this is actually legit. This is not. I know a lot of people on the forums were saying, "Oh, this is not true. You people are just starting rumors." And everybody was like, "Go watch the live stream replay. It's there." So yes, this is official.
Yeah.
It came from Cordovan. This is happening.
Yes, and if it weren't official in any way, I think he would have mentioned that when he did reply to that other
Yes,
thread.
exactly. Yes.
Then let's head into the DDO Chronicle issue 386, where that is
I
where
have
is
no
that?
idea. I was been trying to figure that out since this Chronicle came out, and I can't figure out where this screenshot's from.
Yeah,
I can't remember any place that looks like that. So if you have any ideas where the Chronicle header comes from this week, let us know, because I'm stumped. Usually I can figure it out, but this time, nope, I got no clue where that comes from. In our Chronicle this week, though, we have our community spotlight, of course. Cheat Shaman, I love that name, and his friends Earsley and Neat Ninja recently have rediscovered DDO, and they are streaming over on Twitch. The group is also forming a new player guild, so good luck to all three of them. And with all the content being free, I think a lot of people are either rediscovering DDO or discovering DDO for the first time, which is cool. And you're seeing that because there's a lot more people on Twitch that are streaming DDO. We'll talk about it in a bit here. Over in the Fansite news section, DDO Cast had their 601st episode. They're taking a look at Update 46, Patch 2. Click over and take a listen to that. We got a shout out for us talking about the power of the unicorn.
ooh.
Listen to that episode to figure that out. And as I said, DDO Stream over on Twitch is the first stop to find the official DDO Twitch page. You can watch the Damsels of DDO questing in House of Yarlin. Sig Trent is role playing, and Brighter Days Ahead is getting hot. Elsewhere on Twitch, lots of people twitching DDO. Big Deep Johnson is returning. Kiwi Hannah has a chill weekend stream, and John Sierra, sure, why not? Quest in Korthos. There you go. You should probably watch that, Pine Leaf, because you could probably, tell him all the stuff that he missed. As you could probably run Korthos with your eyes closed, as we've discussed on several episodes of this show.
I'm not too sure I could do it with my eyes closed. Besides, I want to have my eyes open because they said that they made some changes there.
Oh, well, that's true. Okay, yeah, you got me there. Then over on YouTube, Mr. Delightful gets awesome. Newbie Carabra, that's hard to say, runs down the release notes, and Ghost LPs runs an offering of blood. So lots of people on YouTube and Twitch streaming DDO for your watching pleasure. And of course, Mickey writing about raids. This time she's writing about Project Nemesis. Click over to check out her latest blog. We do have a Chronicle comment this week. Do you write a bio for your character?
A bio for my characters. I've only ever done that in pen and paper. I
I've never even done it in pen and paper, so you have one up on me.
Well, and when I say bio, I don't mean a big, long, extensive biography. Some background material so I understand who my character is or something like that. And I think I maybe only 2 or 3 times have I done that, even in pen and paper. So,
Yep. No, I don't do it either. I don't know. Just never really seen the need for it. But I know a lot of people do. And good on you for taking the time to do that. I commend you for that, but not for me. And let's round out our chronicle with our screenshot of the week. That is Liarzon. Why not? Looks for Doris in the 467th DDO screenshot of the week. That's a pretty sweet little screenshot. Looking for Doris there in the, as I said, 467th DDO screenshot of the week. That is a lot of screenshots over the years.
So why are you looking for Doris? So you can be insulted?
Probably. I don't know.
We all know Doris.
Yeah, we do. Good old Doris.
Yes. Let's then go and hit on and see what's on the tabletop this week. Doesn't look like very good news.
Not really. All the tabletop news this week is involving Gamma, which of course is the Game Manufacturers Association. They are the ones that run Origins. Origins Online was supposed to happen this weekend, which was the date originally scheduled for the original Origins convention. Origins Online is now canceled. The move comes it took a day for him to cancel him. Last week, Twitter started blowing up with a lot of people that were going to be running games, that were going to be doing panels, that were going to be on the official Origins TV, which is what they were calling their official stream. A lot of people started dropping out of that. It started with Eric Lang, who of course you all should know Eric Lang's name. If you played board games, chances are you played an Eric Lang game. Eric is a amazing designer. He tweeted out, "I'm afraid I'll be stepping down as a guest of Origins TV in solidarity with fellow people of color host and guest who have also stepped down. Sorry all." And then the floodgates opened from there. And then one after another, people started tweeting after Mandy Hutchinson says, "After careful consideration, I too have decided to step down from my hosting duties at Origins. Thank you, Danny, for the opportunity." Which, if you don't know, Danny was the PR contact for Origins and Gamma. She too actually quit her job and stepped down over this. What this boils down to is a lot of people in the gaming community were very unhappy that Gamma never made a stance, never made a statement on Black Lives Matter. Which, if you've been paying attention to the news, you know everything that's going on with that and why of that. We're not a political news show, so we're not going to get into it. Just, you should know what's going on in the world. It's kind of crazy. You know, we have the whole COVID thing, and then now we have all this Black Lives Matter stuff. It's just a crazy time in the world. But Gamma didn't release an official statement on the Black Lives Matter, supporting Black Lives Matter. So people started pulling out. One after the other, people started pulling out. So you can go back on Twitter and look at the thread. It was crazy at the amount of people. So this kind of put Gamma in a corner because they were going to have an online convention with basically no presenters because everybody was supporting all of the black game designers, all of the people that were going to be involved. They were saying, "Hey, we support you. We're backing out. We stand with you," etc., etc. So Gamma, like I said, was put into a corner. They released a statement. Didn't do themselves any favor with the statement, but they released a statement nonetheless. They said, "To our community, the Game Manufacturers Association believes that Black Lives Matter. We unequivocally condemn racism and violence against people of color. We have been too late in making that statement with force, and we apologize. The injustices of today demand that every person of good conscience make clear whether they stand, and wish we had been more proactive, more strident, and more effective with our voices." Then they go on to say that now is not the time to hold this online convention. They feel, it's best if they just cancel it. So they have canceled it. They did say that every exhibitor, sponsor, and advertiser is going to be offered a full refund, as well as every gamer who purchased a badge. They do say that Gamma is going to match dollar for dollar any exhibitor, sponsor, advertiser, or vendor who donates the amounts they are owed for the Origins Online to one of the organizations listed below. It's difficult to say how many are going to take them up on this opportunity, but they are going to match amounts up to $100,000. And these are the Black Lives Matter Global Network, Black Trans Advocacy Coalition, the Columbus Freedom Fund, which is in Columbus, Ohio, which is where Origins is held, the Community Justice Exchange, the Innocence Project, and the NAACP. So if you don't want your money back for your badge, if you want to donate to that, let's say you paid $50 for the badge level you got, Gamma's going to donate $50 as well. So there's going to be a $100 donation made. They did say further details are going to be coming in your email, which you should have by now. Then they did end it by saying Gamma's vision statement is a game on every table, a table for every gamer. We commit to working towards that day. In service, Gamma's board of directors. So, after that fiasco, the next day, they canceled Origins on. They canceled the Origin Online. The next day, they canceled the Origins Game Fair, which was originally scheduled for this weekend, but they moved it to October. But now they are just pulling the plug on it, so there is no Origins at all this year. They did say Gamma made the decision to postpone Origins Game Fair to October to provide time to evaluate the possibility of holding a tabletop convention in 2020. But based on the information we are receiving, the likelihood of a second wave of COVID pandemic this fall and the uncertainty around Ohio's mass gathering restrictions for festivals, fairs, and events like ours, we have made the difficult decision to cancel the October Origins show. We regret the timing of this decision, but believe this is the best to better provide as much notice to exhibitors, event planners, and attendees to adjust their schedules and plans for the rest of the year. This was met with a, you're only doing this because you're trying to save face and you got called out on the whole Black Lives Matter thing. And people were upset. They kind of used COVID as an excuse. A lot of people are thinking the only reason why Origins was canceled was they're just trying to save some kind of PR face with the whole, it's just Origins is a mess right now. Gamma is a mess right now. So no online, no Origins convention. So as we said a couple weeks ago, the podcast title was 2020, the year of no conventions. That's pretty much living up to the title right now.
Well, I have a feeling, I was thinking that an October convention was not going to fly in any case based on all the rest of the things I've been seeing canceled around that time frame.
Oh, I did too, yeah. When the telltale sign to me was when Eschenspiel got canceled, which is also in October.
Yeah.
That was the telltale sign, yeah, there ain't nothing happening this year.
Yeah, because wave 2 is, I'm sure anyone who has a realistic thing knows that, yeah, traditionally you're going to get a wave 2. So
yep, so no Origins online, no Origins. We'll try again next year.
We'll try again next year and hope that everything has settled down. Well, not everything's going to settle down by that time, but
we can hope a lot of this stuff settles down by that time.
A lot of stuff settles down. Yeah. What? That COVID and racism both go away?
Well, yeah. I mean, neither one of them are ever going to go away, but at least calm down a little bit.
Yes. Let's go and see what's on the screen. Then where Mojang has announced that on that next week, on the 23rd of June, they will be releasing actually that'll be Tuesday then. Yes, Tuesday the 23rd of June, they'll be releasing 1.16 for Java, which I don't know what the version number is for the Bedrock edition of the Nether update, which is the update that is completely changing the Nether, what you're going to find there. Yeah, some of the old stuff is still going to be there, but it's a major overhaul of the Nether, which is, I'm sure that Drac has no idea what the Nether is.
No, I'm familiar with the Nether. I've just never been there because I don't play Minecraft, but
right.
I do know what it is.
Yes, all right. So you can just imagine doing a complete overhaul of the area. and making it more interesting and in some ways more dangerous. So if you're into Minecraft, then look forward to next week, and I'm hoping to be able to get in the game and see what's happening over in the fiery district of Minecraft. Now with that, let's into our week in gaming. And what were you up to?
Nada, zip, and zilch.
You must have been busy working or something.
Yeah, I had a horrible week.
One of those weeks.
Yep. So, yeah, but it looks like you actually were fairly busy, it looks like.
Yeah, I did one or two things. We'll begin with Dungeons and Dragons Online, since that's what we're here all about. Yes. Actually, yes, actually, we did manage to get 2 sessions. I was wondering, how is it? I'm trying to figure, why do I have 2 sessions with you here? And of course, we had 2 sessions since the last show because we moved our play date.
Yes.
Yes. So therefore, first of all, what we did closer during last week is we ran finished up the Ravenloft area where we ran Yester Hill. And from how that went, that was probably the easiest Yester Hill run I remember, because I always remember that boss fight being needing 3 tries to get it done or something like that. That has always been a pain for me. So I was surprised that I was able to.
Well, you didn't have my stabby guy with you the other times.
Well, I suppose that's always a possibility.
I was behind him stabby the whole time.
Yes. So we did manage to get through Yester Hill, and it was one of the easier times through that one. Then we did Raven's Bane, which is its usual thing. Let's see how fast we can find the ravens. Then finally, Sunrise. And I was actually surprised, because I thought that Yester Hill and Raven's Bane would take so long that we would have to wait another week before doing Sunrise. But we actually managed to fit in all 3 games within our usual 2-hour session.
Yeah, you kept saying that, and I'm like, dude, we can finish these in 2 hours, no problem.
Yeah, you were a lot more confident than I was in it, apparently.
Oh yeah, I was like, this is that's not a problem at all.
Not a problem at all. Well, yes, you were right on that score. Then also in DDO, my Dwarven Fighter. This is, of course, my usual Keep of the Borderlands characters that I'm doing for doing all classes and races. Naturally, I ran the grotto, then I went in and ran all of Keep of the Borderlands, and I did manage to get through it all without using a hireling, which is, I take, pretty good on there. I think I didn't even have to resort all that often to potions either. Now, the fighter I had was just as bad with the healing skill as my barbarian was, so I was still pretty bad in that department. But one thing I did notice is that about after the second quest, I think it was, I found a mall, and I found that smashing heads with a maul managed to cause me to take a lot less damage than trying to use a shield in order to ward off the blows. Shields seem to be underpowered in DDO. I'm getting to the conclusion because I just went in there, mashed the enemies to pieces, and that's what got me through the whole thing.
When in doubt, hit him in the head with the maul. Got it.
That's what it was. You got to remember, as I said, that one of my goals this year was to learn to play.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it looks like I learned to play a fighter, and that was take a very big stick with a heavy piece of metal at the end. Whack!
Gotcha.
So that's the lesson I learned during this round of Keep of the Borderlands was, yes, you could smash some heads with a maul and be able to get through Keep of the Borderlands without a hireling. After that, I ran the Storehouse's Secret. Now, you may be wondering, why did I go back to run the Storehouse's Secret? And that's because we had the whole thing that I said, as I mentioned earlier, they had some updates to Korthos, and I wanted to see what they were. So I thought, let's take this character back into Korthos and see what I can find over there.
Just can't stay out of Korthos, can you?
I can't stay out
You
of
just
court
can't
this way.
stay away.
Yeah. Oh well. So I'm hoping that maybe I could do a couple of more quests in there and find out what they did in sacrifices for that puzzle that had no answer. That little thing, that there not being a purpose of that, and the adjustments that they made to court those. Hopefully, I'll be able to have a chance there in order to find out what went on there. Then in Elder Scrolls Online, you and I finally got around to doing the prologue to Greymore because this time it looks like everything that things have quieted down because last time we tried playing, I think we said it was a lag city.
Oh, it was horrible. It was a
Uh,
slideshow for me. It was horrible last time.
yeah. So
Nope, no
either
problems at all this time.
Yes. So either there are fewer people in the area or they managed to patch whatever the problem was. Either way, yes, much better this way and much more playable. So we managed to get all the way through the prologue, it looks like, or whatever they call the introduction section in.
Yeah, it was a prologue.
Yeah, yes, the prologue, which was to take us to areas in Skyrim where we've been before. So I'm wondering though if Greymoor itself is going to take us to a new area of Skyrim or so. Or actually, it might take us into that underground area that we discovered because we had. I guess that's a possibility. I guess we'll find
Yeah,
out.
that would be my guess is what's going to happen, but we'll see. I'm excited. I'm super psyched for Greymore.
Then in Minecraft, I continued with the June Minecraft Parkour Challenge, where we're in this skyblock world trying to see how well I could survive in there and what I can do while there. And now, of course, starting to speculate what's going to be next month's challenge, and is it going to involve going to this new Nether that we're. So I'm already thinking, okay, what are they going to do to us? Let's say, welcome to the Nether. I have a feeling it's going to involve that. Mage Rage, I had my usual another week of that. And then in Minecraft Dungeons, I headed into the Soggy Swamp. And actually, this is on my character that's already completed the game, and I'm trying to go through some of the older areas at higher level difficulties to see if I can find what was it? Yeah, some of the secret areas, because apparently there are some other hidden levels. You know how when we did the one quest that we did before into, I guess, the creeper forest, whatever it was called, that while there we found this crypt that had a secret level attached to it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, apparently there are some of the other areas also have secret levels
Yeah, okay.
that you could find. It's just that they're a bit rare. I think the one next to the creeper forest is available even the first time you go on there to show you the concept of that. And second, it looks like it appears 100% of the time, the unlock mechanism. While for the others, it seems to be maybe a 10% chance or something like that you're going to get it in your dungeon. We'll have to find out. I don't think all the stats are out on that yet, but it looks like it doesn't always pop up and you have to be in the higher difficulties. So, yeah, that may take some time. Then in tabletop news, if you remember last time, I was talking about playing several Commands and Colors games, mainly Memoir 44 and Battle Lore. I decided to continue with that theme in this one and played two more Commands and Colors games. The first one is Tricorn, and I just couldn't quite get into Tricorn, and I might play a couple of them in early July since 1776 and all that substance. Tricorn, if you didn't figure out, is about the Revolutionary War. So I am going to try that one out, maybe try it again more and see if it works better. But the scenario I did tended to be very, very slow and tricky. I had a lot of trouble trying to remember the various special rules that happen in that particular game. So I'm not impressed on that one yet. The other one I played was Red Alert. Now, I've had Red Alert for a couple of, I think it was maybe a year and a half. I've had Red Alert, but I could never get it to the table for one very important reason. That game has the largest board I've ever had in a game. Actually, it doesn't have a board, it's got a tablecloth.
Okay then.
And I mean, it is I think it's the only game I ever had that had a literally had a cloth board like that. So it's more of a tablecloth. It's about maybe 4.5 by 3.5 feet. So it is much, much too large for my old gaming space. So I put the topper onto my gaming table. I found that with the topper on my gaming table, so I don't have the indentation you usually have but instead of flat surface on top, I was able to barely fit the red alert board. So I was able to finally bring it out, and I wound up playing 3 scenarios of it. So I had a lot of fun with that. And in fact, I think this one's quickly turning into my favorite Commands and Colors game. Now, this is one that I'd say, what do you mean you got too large of a board? How am I ever going to play this? But now they got the gaming table, and now that I've been able to bring it to the table, it looks like a lot of fun. And Red Alert is, if you haven't figured it out, this is the space battle game for the Commands and Colors series. Now, after that, I decided to play some roll and writes. And my main reason for doing this is I wanted to find out for sure, trying to figure out what my favorite roll and write is. And I thought the best way to do that was to play several of them in close succession. So I played Dizzle, Octodice, Welcome to, and Cartographers.
That's definitely a lot of rolling rights.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of roller. Dizzle was the lowest ranking of those, and it looks like it's going to stay out where that was. Octodice has I've always really enjoyed Octodice, but problem with Octodice that I have is that the dice don't hold the paint very well. So the paint is coming off on them, and apparently that is a complaint I've seen in a couple of Amazon reviews also. So that's a little bit of a problem for that particular game. Is you have these wooden dice and the you have wooden dice with painted icons on them, and the paint's coming off seems to come off gradually on there. And doesn't help that on the black dice, the octopod side is of a very dark shade of purple. Dark shade of purple on a black die.
That's a good design choice.
Yeah. Who in the world decided that? The only thing I can say is if I can completely not see it, it's probably the octopod side. That's the only way I could be sure that that's the side that it's on theirs. So because of that, it's been dropping in. It's dropped a little bit in my favorite area. So the top two ones still seems to be Welcome to has come up a little bit and is vying with Cartographers. So it's that I have to play them a little bit more between Cartographers and Welcome to and see which of them is going to be in there because part of this, of course, is the one of my goals this year is to make my list of top 100, and those two are neck and neck, not only in the roll and write section but also in the top 100 section. Actually, it's up in the I think it's in the top 10 or top 20 area where those are. Finally, this last little item is a little bit more of a puzzle than a game, or actually a series of puzzles. And this is a little something that's just released called Twisty Little Passages. Think of it as a dungeon crawl puzzle. And
Okay.
yeah, that's what it is. And what you have is on the on the puzzle that you're supposed to be doing on the maze that you have for each particular level, you're going to have various items. And so you have some healing potions on there. You have some keys. Obviously, you have some locks that you're going to have to go to keys in order to get the locks. And of course, guarding many things, there will be monsters. So you can recover health, and you may also find treasures such as weapons and also armor and things like that. And the idea is to find out what path to take and be able to survive. The main thing you need to do is to get out of that maze alive. So if you can get out with at least one hit point left, then it means that you survived. And whenever you fight a monster, you're going to lose a certain number of hit points. And that's going to be based on your weapon, because faster you do that, the fewer hit times, faster you kill the monster, the fewer times that the monster is going to have a chance to hit you. And of course, your armor, which reduces how much damage you take each time the monster does hit you. So you have to find these items in there. Find the optimal way to pick up those items, to pick up the keys, to pick up the potions, so that when you get out, get past the final boss, you'll be able to still be alive. And I've got through the first chapter, which was about, I think, 5 of these puzzles, and I did the first one of chapter 2. So I'm just getting started on there. The first couple of puzzles, of course, are really easy to introduce you to how they work, and now they're starting to ramp up at the beginning of chapter 2. So that's Twisty Little Passages, so I'm having a lot of fun with that. And I think I've had 1 or 2 of these puzzle book type things I've had that are related to this of a similar vein, but this is, I think, my favorite of them that I had. And what's really interesting is you can get this in either as a PDF through Drive Through our RPG, or you get a physical book that's designed to be used with dry erase markers. And I think the dry erase markers really work. Now, I'm someone who does not particularly like using dry erase markers, and I'm having a good time using them for this game. So that's how much I'm liking this. So I'm hoping to still give a good report on that after I go through there. And that's what I did this week in gaming. We currently have 14 supporters on Patreon, and if you'd like to help support DDO players, then simply go to the donations page. You can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be guest with us for an episode of DDO Players News. And the money that you send is used for podcast hosting, website hosting, and to help pay for our live shows. And if you'd like to donate directly to Drac instead of joining Patreon, you could send it to drac at ddoplayers.com. And if you want to check on details, you go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance. And we did not receive any emails this week, but if you'd like to send one, you can send it to podcast at ddoplayers.com. And you can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance at Players Ally, DDO Players at DDO Players, Draculetta at Dracula_2, and Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles. And you can follow Drac at Draculetta_72. The Players Alliance has 3 shows. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. On Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locha Players News. And XP Quest is at variable times, so you should follow at XP Quest on Twitter to find out when the show is going live next. You can stories for our shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight. And this is Polyp Needles reminding you to socialize responsibly.